To any aspiring writers in my audience, I'd like to take a moment to pass on a good rule of thumb. Don't give your hero access to unrestricted teleporters or portals. Now, this rule does come with some addendums. First, of course, all rules can be broken, but only if you're really sure you know what you're doing. You have to master the conventions before you can defy them, and if you're good enough at writing to know why these rules exist in the first place and the common problems to avoid, then absolutely make every character in your story a jumper. Second, the key word is unrestricted. The reason this rule exists is because portals are a level of power on par with godhood. It's essentially power over matter, energy, and space. Oh, and time too, if you use it right. So yeah, that's like 4 different Infinity Stones at once. But fiction is built on conflict. That's the bedrock of narrative and drama, and unbounded teleporting removes any possibility of conflict. Giving your protagonist a portal gun and not heavily ladening it down with rules about how it does and does not work is a recipe for disaster. For example, I mentioned Infinity Stones a second ago, so let's use that as a reference for how this can go wrong.
Hate portals. Make my stomach turn.
Doctor Strange is a Marvel character that has the ability to create portals from anywhere to anywhere, and can open and close them at a whim. Essentially, this power has no limits. Now, yes, this can lead to some very cool and memorable scenes, but it is such a stupidly overpowered ability that the plot falls apart, because it is impossible to account for this in every situation without invalidating any kind of conflict that our heroes could be facing.
How are we supposed to defeat the world's greatest superheroes?
Portal?
Oh, yeah. Right.
For example, why doesn't Doctor Strange open a portal around Thanos' neck and close it, decapitating him in half a second and ending the movie right there? Well, you might say, maybe his portals don't work like that. Maybe the portal can't close if there's something solid in the way holding it open. An interesting theory.
Whoa!
Oops. Gee, wouldn't it be funny if there was a scene where Doctor Strange was trying to get something off of someone's hand? According to director Joe Russo, Thanos' skin is almost impenetrable. For some reason, we don't know whether Doctor Strange had the capability to cut it. And fine, even if you buy that load of bullshit, keep in mind that decapitation is still the most milquetoast possible use of this power. Doctor Strange could have opened a portal around Thanos' feet that led to the event horizon of a black hole, or into the heart of the sun, or the bottom of the Marianas Trench. If it's good enough for chaos, it's good enough for Thanos. But Thanos is almost invincible for some reason. None of those would hurt him either. Yeah, well, look, Joe, the movie's writing has a lot more problems than just portals, okay? Fine. You know that thing you do in Endgame where you bring in a ton of backup? Do that, but do it right now! Just imagine how much easier this scene would have gone if instead of these two morons pretending to pull on the glove, you'd had Thor and the Hulkbuster doing it instead of fighting trash mobs on Earth. They both seem really strong. Oh, but thank God the movie has this scene, which is essentially a get out of writing free card. So no matter how much better and easier all of these millions of alternatives seem and would be and are, we're told that no matter what, they just wouldn't have worked because the writer said so. Fantastic. Anyways, my point being, Unbounded portals are like a Green Lantern ring. Its strength is only limited by your imagination. But no, Doctor Strange is over here fighting with magic ropes. Okay. For an example of how to do it properly, we can look at Portal.
Oh, no, not another portal.
Portals in Portal, shot from the portal gun, can only conduct on portal surfaces, which are a paint made from ground-up moon rocks. Anything else, and no dice. This is a rule, a restriction that limits the power of this teleporting. This is incredibly important because it acts as a balance on this godlike power, which lets you put your characters in danger while superseding so many questions we could be asking. For example, why doesn't Shell open a portal around GLaDOS' head and decapitate her? Well, A, she's a robot, I don't think decapitation would do much, but B, GLaDOS' head isn't made of a portal surface. And if you were the writer of Portal and maybe wanted to end the game by decapitating GLaDOS, this might be sad news. Duh! Now the finale I had planned has to go in the trash. And yeah, on some level, it does suck to not just be able to do whatever you want whenever you want to do it, but putting limits on your story not only grounds it, but provides you the opportunity to flex your creativity and find solutions that might be even better. If Chell can't decapitate her foes with a portal, then she'll need to figure something else out instead. Something that adheres to the rules you have created. And that something might end up being 1,000 times more interesting than whatever your first thought happened to be. Anyways, you probably figured this out like 5 minutes ago, but Doom Eternal has portals with no restrictions, and it completely breaks the narrative. Vega can open infinite portals to anywhere, and so every level has to try and write around this, or put fingers in its ears and pretend that he can't. Now, yes, this can lead to some very cool and memorable scenes getting blatantly ripped off and done much worse, but it is such a stupidly overpowered ability that the plot falls apart because it is impossible to account for this in every situation without invalidating any kind of conflict that our hero could be facing. And the problem with portals is way worse in video games, which 99% of the time are about needing to get from point A to point B, which is no longer a problem if your character can teleport directly to B. Let's go through a few examples.
I hate portals.
In the first level, your goal is to kill the Hell Priest. Why didn't Doom Guy teleport directly to him? Why did he start off messing around with zombies and box-pushing puzzles? Now, you might think this is petty criticism because it takes us all of 5 minutes to get there on foot, but still, it's a legit question. How many thousands of humans died in those 5 minutes? We could have skipped that, so why didn't we? Well, maybe he didn't know where the Hell Priest was.
We have the Hell Priest signal locked in.
What, you gonna tell me Vega's magic GPS is only sorta accurate? Or that he can't open a portal at a specific point? Because every other portal in the game appears exactly where he wants it to be. I mean, except when the developers forget that he can do that.
The extraction point has been identified. I will mark its location on your HUD.
Or when they want to contrive an exciting escape scene.
The generator is overloading. I have marked your exit portal.
And I don't know why Doom Guy doesn't just teleport away after he kills him. You know, the exact same way you do the other 2 times you kill Hell Priests in this game. No, this time he just sort of messes around on ruined Earth for the rest of the level. The end goal, I guess, becomes to get inside this Hell Priest meeting. But A, why didn't he teleport? And B, why would he do that? I mean, the Slayer knows that he can't kill the other two Hell Priests right now without their Horcrux, so why not just teleport away the instant the first one's dead? Why even bother sticking around afterwards and killing maybe 100 demons out of the infinite supply? Why is he wasting so much time? But Austin, the Slayer enjoys killing the demons you fight on the way from point A to point B, so it's not a plot hole that he doesn't use teleporting to skip it. If the Slayer is only motivated by killing demons, he could have just stayed in hell, forever, where there is an inexhaustible supply. The fact that he's not doing that means he wants to accomplish other things, to defeat the demons once and for all, and to save the lives of billions of humans. He's got shit to do. So then, while off-screen, hundreds of millions of humans are dying horrible deaths in an otherwise hopeless war against the demonic hordes, why is someone as badass as the Slayer breaking into their D&D session just so he can be talked down to and then teleport away crying? If you would posit that the Slayer is totally fine wasting time because he's having fun, I'll tell you he's a horrible character. I would posit that it's because the writer wants to establish the Khan Maker as the new villain and will bend the story in whatever way is necessary to get the two of you in a room together. Next up, your goal is to kill the other two Hell Priests. Why don't we teleport to them? Well, this is one the game has an excuse for.
I do not have the means to locate the second Hell Priest. Your celestial locator is missing a component.
We just can't, because the writer said so. We need a plot device first. But luckily, an old pal of ours keeps just such a plot device in his living room. Cool. Why don't we teleport directly to his living room? No, we get dumped 5 miles outside the city for, let me check here, no reason. Okay. Plot device acquired. Now we can teleport to the Hell Priest. No, I guess it needs to be charged first or something. The game doesn't actually explain it. But coincidentally, there's yet another old pal of ours nearby who just so happens to have a plot device charger. Okay. Can we teleport to him? No, we're gonna walk? Okay, just try not to think about the millions of people being slaughtered by demons while Doomguy takes the scenic route and gets like 3 separate batteries to clear obstacles he could have just teleported around.
There are motion sensors and artillery everywhere.
Thanks, Vega, for the timely updates. What was that shit Hugo said earlier?
Ruthless efficiency. Like, that was kind of like the motto. Like, say everything with as little as you possibly can.
I'm no expert, but I think you guys could have cut that line. Anyways, I guess this guy's just been sitting here for how many years? Like, he's just been chilling in this room with his motion sensors and his artillery and his celestial locator charging device? What does he eat? Okay, plot device acquired, plot device charged. Now we can teleport to the Hell Priest. Vega, where the heck am I? Well, this time the game has 2 different and conflicting excuses.
The Hell Priest is somewhere in this facility. I cannot pinpoint his exact location at this time.
20 minutes later.
The priest has stopped moving. I will lock in signal now.
So the first excuse is that the celestial locator is bad celestially locating, in which case, what was the point of getting it? And the second is that the Hell Priest was moving? If he can avoid our GPS by moving, then why would he ever stop moving? Newsflash, dipshit, you can also teleport. And then later, one of the 5 excuses for why we can't teleport to the 3rd Hell Priest is that the Khan Maker is using magic to hide him. Well then, why wasn't she doing that the entire goddamn time and for all three of them? These guys are what are powering her demonic invasion. Why are you all so deeply ignorant? And of course, we can keep going. Your next goal is to get to Samuel Hayden. Why not teleport? No reason provided. Then you need to get to the BFG. Why not teleport? No reason provided. Then you need to get to Sentinel Prime. Why not teleport? Ooh, we have a reason for that one. The writer said only a specific portal can get you to Sentinel Prime. For, reasons. Okay, then why don't we teleport to that portal?
I have marked its location for you, but getting there will take time. There is no easy way to access the core of Mars.
Oh, gee, that's a shame. You know, if only we had a teleporter or something.
There are no known pathways that lead there, Dr. Hayden.
If only we had a teleporter! Now, you may be thinking, Austin, why are you complaining about this? Do you want to teleport past everything and have the game be 20 seconds long? No. What I want is for the developers to have not given the Doomslayer a crazy OP power like infinite teleporting in the first place. But since they have decided to do so, against all common sense and better judgment, the obvious question is, well, why isn't the game 20 seconds long? Because the story you have written and the resources you have given your main character means that logically, it should be. Teleport dead, teleport dead, teleport dead, teleport dead, roll credits. The only thing keeping this game from being 30 seconds long from start to finish is a never-ending torrent of excuses and throwaway lines vomiting forth from the writers' mouths at mock speed. And the fact that the stakes of this game are so high, with the extinction and subsequent eternal damnation of the entire human race hanging in the balance, pushes all of this into sharp focus. If every minute gone by means 10,000 people die off screen, why would we ever waste time killing demons we don't have to? Why would we ever spend even 30 seconds doing a puzzle to open a door? Or indeed, why would we ever walk anywhere that isn't either into or out of a portal?
Can't hold them off! Hold back! No! They're everywhere!
Casualties range in the billions.
And if your answer is, well, just don't think about it, then I would say that the game won't let me not think about it. When Vega says that I need to spend 30 minutes, that's not a joke. I was going as fast as I could, and this took me 30 minutes using 2 different big guns so I can shoot some tentacles to open a door they're blocking. That means I'm going to spend every second of those 30 minutes wondering why all of the main characters are so deeply stupid when we could just teleport past it. The writers have completely screwed themselves over here. They have given their main character a power that is too strong, and instead of just, not doing that, they're now forced to constantly throw in excuses for why we arbitrarily can't use it in this case, or to have the entire game suffer when they frequently forget to do that, which actively damages the story and erodes the supposed intelligence of our main characters, who could, seemingly at any time, snap their fingers and decide to win, but instead will, over and over and over again, choose the path of most resistance for no reason, despite the stakes being so absurdly high and the alternative solution so blindingly obvious that I can't help but constantly focus on it. Writing a teleporter into your story will break it. Don't do it. So, interesting question. Why did they do it?
Fair criticism of the game is it got repetitive in the third act, but you only went to Mars and Hell, and you definitely felt like location-wise and AI-wise, we had run out of tricks. We needed to make sure that we had different really cool locations that we were taking you to, and that kind of also drove the story, you know, and the inclusion of the hub. It's like his command station, and he could easily, through a teleporter, go to different locations. So, and that just made it easier for us to take you to really cool dimensions and places and all this stuff.
So it seems that it was to enable a variety of locations in the levels. Very understandable goal, absolutely atrocious execution. So I guess if you don't have a teleporter, it's literally impossible to get anywhere else besides where you currently are. It's not like you have feet, or vehicles, or maybe even a flying fortress base. Let me be clear. This is a limitation the writers have placed on themselves by themselves. You don't need teleporters to have a variety of levels. You need creativity. I mean, just do the Mass Effect thing for crying out loud. Have your base light speed the different planets, and then you can go up and down from the surface in a shuttle. And oh no, if we aim too close to the target, a bunch of demons will shoot us down. Better land 5 miles outside the city. Boom! Problem solved. And as a bonus, oh no, the shuttle can't land with all these demons around. Kill them first. And, oh no, the shuttle can't reach you underground. You'll need to have a fun escape scene to get to it. Look at that! So much utility with such a simple change, and all it required was giving a shit! Point being, it's not that hard to think of justifications for how the levels connect that don't involve handing the Doomslayer a solve everything button. And like I said earlier, restrictions can foster creativity. I would bet money that Vega Central Processing in Doom 2016 was the result of the level designers wanting to have a blue ice level to visually break up all of the white science labs and red hellscape. And in order to do that, they had to be creative and right away to make that work while stuck on Mars. Like by being inside a massive absolute zero cooling system for an incredibly powerful AI. That restriction fostered creativity and made something way more interesting than if we had just teleported to an ice planet.
He could easily, through a teleporter, go to different locations. So, and that just made it easier for us.
The need to write a teleporter to connect these levels portrays a profound ineptitude, or lack of creativity, or laziness, or all three, on the part of the writers. That they needed a crutch this big to do something as simple as connecting one level to the next is evidence of their inability to do their jobs properly.
Once we land, we'll head for Kaer Morhen, on horseback.
Right. Conventional means of travel. They're just better.